to them and my screen is visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's get started. Uh, so guys, as we were talking about IPs and classless IPs, whatever you see in Azure, all will be classless IPs. Okay? But you need to know before we go for classless, you had to understand or you had to know what are the classes of IPs. What do you mean by this? Hence, we had to cover this. But whatever we see in Azure, we are going to see all classless IPs. And very simple thing I'll tell you about an IP, and by just looking at that, you can simply say whether it's a classless IP or a classful IP and which class. Yeah, that we are gonna do that. But before that, if you guys have any questions, please do ask.
सोहेल, आपके लास्ट वीडियोस में मैंने देखा था साइडर कैलकुलेशन जो फॉर्मूला था 2 to the power n, वो सब डिटेल्स इसमें जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी ना?
No, I don't think so. You guys have to. If you guys want, maybe I will conduct one more session at the end of it, because that's not required for you guys. But if someone wants to really learn that how do we calculate everything, it is here. It's given in my OneNote also. You guys have access to this. That how do we calculate CIDR if we want these many IPs, then what is the formula behind it? I've conducted that in my first and second batch. The recordings are available on YouTube for free. If you guys want to, feel free and go ahead. But we realized that later that no one is asking these details in interview, and we had to spend almost 4 sessions on that. And for this thing, we already have a calculator available on Google very easily. Just by putting some numbers, you will get what CIDR to be used, which CIDR is giving you how many IPs. So it's very simple. But still, if someone wants to do that, maybe apart from these sessions, I can conduct one session and I will teach you guys that how to do that. This is the formula, by the way, that if I want, if I've got this condition that what is the overall IP address range in this network, what are the usable IPs, etc. Because that is already done at the network level. When your architect team gets in touch with client, they ask that okay, how many users and how many applications, how many computers, how many printers are you expecting in this network? So they get an idea. Fine, I am getting 1,000. As of now, I need 1,000 IPs. Then they will ask, okay, today you need 1,000 IPs. Considering your business growth, how many would you require in 1 year? How many would you require in 2 years? So minimum they create a 5-year plan. Then they will come to a conclusion. So okay, total I need 2,000 IPs in this particular subscription, or in this particular for this particular application I need 2,000 IPs. Then your architect will decide, they do their calculation to get 2,000 IPs. Which CIDR block should I be using? This is your CIDR block, which looks like /24. Look at this, /24. This is your CIDR block, /24. It's not only 24, you will see different numbers, but whatever the slash and number after IP, that is your CIDR. And this decides that how many IPs are you going to get. But all this calculation, you don't have to worry about it, because what you get at the end, it's a diagram with detailed information, something like this. Okay, you have to create machines like this, something like this you get. So you get every IP and everything. You don't have to worry about it. This is I've just created for this session. But when we do it actually for a project or for live environment, then it will be detailed one, more detailed to this one also, in a better manner, good pictures, good size and everything you will have. Ultimately it will be saved in PDF, and you will have very detailed diagram with IPs and everything. So you don't have to worry about it, you will get it ready made. Still, if someone wants to learn it, watch those videos, and if you don't understand and still want to learn it, let me know. If I get more than 10 people, maybe I'll conduct a session for you guys. And that will not be on Saturday, Sunday. I don't want to uh, jeopardize others' time. We can do that on any of the weekdays. If you are interested, then only we'll do it. Okay. Now, the basic thing to understand whether it's a class IP or a classless IP, it's very simple. Before that, can someone tell me that uh, this IP belongs to which class?
Class A.
Class A.
Class A. Okay, and if I say which class?
Class C.
Right. Is it class? Okay, we did not talk about private range, hence I'm not asking that question whether it's private or public. But the videos which I shared with you guys that had private and public range. So are you guys familiar with private range and public range? Yes, guys. Yes,
Y-
no.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll still
Yes.
take that one more time. Maybe we'll spend 15 minutes, but your basics should be clear. But before we go there, which class is this? The one which I'm typing now.
It's
Private.
classless.
Simple. It's classless. Forget private. Private and public, these are not classes. These are types. IPv4 and IPv5, it's version. Private and public, it's class. Sorry, it's type. Class A, class B, class C. These are different things. Don't confuse yourself with this. Public and private, these are not classes. These are types, whether it's a public IP or a private IP. The question here, it's which class of the IP is. So I think I already got the answer. The moment you say slash, the moment you see slash and some number, it's a classless IP. This is how you break the network. The one which I just explained you, that in class A, I get approximately 16 million IPs. I do not want all of them. Okay, I do not want all of them. Maybe I just want few of them. 32 is very less. You won't understand this, you don't even have to worry about it. I'm just telling you how it works. So the moment you say slash and some number, it is a classless IP. It means someone has broken the network. They're using it as classless. Is it clear to everyone? No rocket science. You see it without slash and this one, then at least you have some calculation to do. कि यार ये 10 कहाँ पे fit होता है? Look at this calculation. Okay, 10 will fit somewhere here because it's between 1 to 126. So yes, it is class A. If you see 127, 128 or 172, okay, it's class B. But the moment you see something like this in front of any IP, then it is a classless IP. Is it clear? And this number can be from 1 to 32. It can be anything. But even you don't have to remember that. No one will give you this one. Even if they ask question, it will be something like this. The moment you say slash and some number, it is a classless IP. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's have a look at private range. Okay. So we discussed our IP range, etc. So here is the private range within that. What is the IP range of class A? Not the whole range I'm talking about. Who can answer? Range of class A.
1 to 126.
So it's 1 to 26.
126.255.255.
Similarly, class B, who can answer?
128
128. Sorry.
to 191.
Is it correct the way I'm writing? 191 did you
One,
say?
yes, 191.255.255.255.
Okay. What about class C?
192 to
233.
233.
These are the whole range. Now in this one we have private range. इसी में से private range हमको दिया है. Okay. What is the private range is 10. It's a 10 range. That's it. 10 का range जो है private होता है. That's all you need to know. Now when I say 10, like we calculated in 127, if I say range of 10, does it mean only one IP address?
No, the whole
It's,
range.
yes, so it simply means, which is already given in the picture also. Okay. So now like we were calculating here, that it will go 1 1 1 1, and the moment this come to 9, till here it is what type it is it public or private? This IP, is it
private.
public?
It's a
Is it private, guys?
Yes.
public IP.
It's public IP.
Public
What is the
IP.
private range?
10.
10.
10.
The moment it comes to here, then your this one has started. Your private range has started. Understood? यहाँ पे जब ये भी 255 हो जाएगा, then you will have something like this 0 1.1, and then this becomes 255 255, then you will have 10.1.255 255, ये भी जब 1.2.255 255. So once you have this also till 255 255 255, this whole range is your private range. What is the next number in class A? What is the next IP? If we go similarly, what is the next IP now? Who can read?
11 dot
Yes, 11 dot.
0 dot 0
Dot
dot 0.
0.0.
Now, is it private or public? Normally it's 1, but we are, for learning purpose, we are taking it 0. Now, is it private or public?
Public.
Public
So
IP.
I hope you understood, right? When we say 0 to 126, this is what we mean. And between that, one range will come, which is just 10. That 10 is your private IP. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Similarly, in class 2, 128, 0.0, this is how it will work. Okay, यहाँ से चल रहा है. Then ये जो 127 के बाद, let's say 128, 255, 255, 255, यहाँ पर पूरा we utilized. We went to 129, 0.0.0, then we utilized everything in 129 also. 255, 255, 255. Then we went to 130, 131, 255, 255. Till the time it is on 172. Is it a public IP or private IP?
It's a public IP 172.0.0. 172.16 is a public IP.
Yes, yes.
Private
Till the
IP.
time ये सब भी खत्म होके 255, 172, 0 dot, ये भी जब 255, 255 हो जाएगा 172, then ये 1 से शुरू होगा. Okay, then 255, 255, 172. When it comes to 16, this is your private range starts. This is where your private range starts, and this is till where 172. यहाँ पे जब 31 आएगा ना, 255, 255, this is your private range. And the moment you go to next IP, 172, 32.0, this is again your public IP. Is it clear, guys, to everyone? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Same thing applies in class C. I won't be doing it again now. 192, 168. Till the time I'm here, 192, 0.0, 192, 1, 192, 2, 192, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 192, 167. It's okay, I'm still in public. The moment I go to 192, 168, then it's a private range. Okay. So, and after the moment I move to 193, then it is, what will be the 193 if I move to 193? Will it be public or private, guys?
Public.
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 So here, this is where we have written class A, class B, and this is class C. Till 233. Till the time I go to 233, it's a class C. And the moment I move from 190 to 168, it's again class C, but public IP. Now, why do we have public and private? No matter you look at these numbers and it looks too much, बहुत सारे IPs. But if we use all of these IPs as public IP, Then what is the drawback? The drawback is all these IPs, no matter these are looking in millions and etc., but these are too less for everyone to use. So what they have done, they have given some of the IPs as private IPs. Now, how to utilize them? I'll quickly show it to you, and then we'll go to portal. Uh, though I did not want to cover this. This is the basic which I was expecting you guys to read, but I thought it's worth it to spend one session on this. But your understanding should be clear. Now let's say one thing: public IP cannot be repeated. These are the key factors, guys. If you want to read, if you want to write it down somewhere, write it down. If you want to remember it, remember it. If I have used one public IP as an individual also in my practice session also, or you guys have used it in Azure while creating a machine, if you have used one public IP, no one else can use that public IP, even if it is a big giant, any company, no one. Till the time you have that public IP, no one else in the world can use that public IP. So now just imagine if we had all these IPs public without any private range, how many IPs are we going to get? In class A, 16 million, it's okay. Maybe more than that, some million, 65 million, something like that. But it will ultimately finish, and we have more devices, more need of IP address. Nowadays, with IoT, Internet of Things, it's not only Azure concept, IoT, Internet of Things. What does it mean, Internet of Things? Anyone knows what does it mean, Internet of Things?
Yes, sir.
What is it? Yes, who was
So
that?
we
What is
can,
it? Yeah.
for an example, like we can just turn on or turn off the lights in our room, or we can turn on the fan, change the colors of the
Right,
ceiling lights. So this is achieved through Internet of Things.
right. So that is your IoT. You can turn on your AC in your bedroom before even you reach your house. You're 15 minutes away, you can using Wi-Fi or maybe some commands or whatever, some app, you're switching on your AC, your car AC. I'm not talking about the small distance where you do it from just remote. I'm talking about you're doing it using internet, where you even your AC gets an IP address. So your cars will have IP addresses nowadays. Uh, almost every second thing which is there in your house, your computer, your TV, your laptop, your phone, your light, your AC, your fridge, your inverter, just to check how many hours are pending, your water purifier to check your limit of your water, how much have you consumed, when do you want to change the kit, etc. Everything will have IPs. So looking at this pattern, these IPs are not enough. If every individual starts using single IP, then these IPs are definitely not enough. And then there are companies, every company will have thousands of employees, then thousands of computers, they are utilizing it. So just imagine how many IPs do we require, and IPv4, it's simply not enough to cater all these requirements. Hence they came up with this idea where they are breaking this IP into private and public, and now I'll explain it how it works. But with IPv6 we are going to resolve this problem, because IPv6, it's a huge number, it's a hexadecimal format of IP, and we will have IPs in trillions and more than that, and maybe every one person in the world will have IP. A time will come where they will assign IP to individual person. So even if you want to use the internet from a cyber cafe or from somewhere, you don't have to worry about your identification. You just type in your allotted IP and you utilize the internet, and they will know who's using it. But not very soon. It's a long story. You can watch some documentaries on that. But as of now, we are dealing with IPv4. Limited IPs, not everyone can have it. If everyone starts using them, we will not have enough, and then rate will go ahead, etc. So to avoid that, what they have done, they have given some range of private IP. Now what private IP is doing, what are they saying? These are the range of private IP. So private IP, if you are using in your company, company A is using a private range, public IP cannot be repeated, guys. Understand, public IP cannot be repeated at all, no matter who's using it. Even you as a student, if you're using it in your free subscription on your machine, no one else can use that public IP. Till the time you have that public IP, no one else can use that public IP. So here, if let's say company A or UT-Kloud, it is a company, it has some employees, etc. They want to use it, so they are free to use the private range of IP, be it class A, class C, class class A, B, C, whatever they want. At the same time, some other company, they can use the same IP, and it is not conflicting. It is not at all conflicting. Why? Because this communication and this data between these private IPs, it is within that company. So this company doesn't know who else is using, and this company doesn't know who else is using. And that is the reason we are able to survive with these many IPs. But the moment you have your public IP, it cannot be repeated. Now, let's say in this company, I have a requirement of public IP at least for 10 servers. Okay, remaining thousands of servers, they can run on private IP, but these 10 servers, I have an application or maybe I have some business requirement that at least these 5 servers should have public IP. So whichever public IP these 5 servers are using, let's say this company also has similar nature of requirement. They have 7 servers here and they need public IP. So which 5 IPs I'm using here, definitely no one else can utilize them. Not even this company, no other company can use them. So this is the difference between private and public IP. Is it clear, guys, to everyone?
Yes.
One more thing, guys. Whatever I'm explaining here, please make sure you take a note of it. Later on, I do not want any errors in your practical where you are making these silly mistakes or where you are asking these questions again. I always encourage questions, but these questions will come only if you are not attentive here. So I'm requesting you to please make note of these aspects and these factors, and it will be really helpful for your own study also. So next thing, private IPs can communicate with each other. When I say that private IPs can communicate with each other, what does it mean is private IPs within that one company. For example, if I go to this one, look at this. Now these all are on private IPs. Okay, so these machines can talk to each other. Private IPs can talk to each other. Here, these whatever it's there between this, whatever IPs we are getting, we assign them to virtual machines, we assign them to storage, we assign them to printers, and every device which I have in my company, I'm assigning them to those devices. They can talk to each other. When in our IT language, when I say talk to each other, which means sending data, receiving data, sending some command, receiving some command. If it is a printer, then I'm giving a command to print my page. That is what the communication between these machines is. Maybe copying some data from somewhere, pasting it somewhere. That is what I mean when I said talking to each other. So these machines can talk to each other, and these machines can talk to each other without any issue. But these machines cannot talk to each other directly just because they are in same range but in a different network. They cannot talk to each other. Is it clear?
Yes.
Next thing, public IPs can talk to each other. Unless if you want to stop, you can definitely do that. This all are we talking about default things. Public IPs can talk to each other. Can someone give me an example of this? How did we use public IPs, and what do I mean here by talking to each other? Can you give me example? How did we utilize or leverage public IPs? In which practical, which segment, which service?
Facebook.
No, I'm talking about our classes. Yeah, Facebook is a correct
Okay.
example though. I'm talking about
So
specific to our classes. What we have been
By
doing from
creating
these many
virtual
days.
machines.
Perfect. Yes. While created the virtual machine, you assigned one public IP on your machine, and you were able to take a remote from your machine to that machine. Got it? Because that machine had a public IP. If you want to go ahead and try to take RDP of the same machine using your private IP. I hope you have realized your all machines where you give public IP, those machines by default they get private IP also.
yes.
Did someone notice that, guys? When you were creating virtual machines, let me show it to you. So if this is the virtual machine, we assign public IP. It's okay because we wanted to practice. We did not have anything here. So we wanted to do that. But did you realize that your machine already had a private IP where you did not assign it, but it already had a private IP, and this one. Now also if I turn on this machine and if I give you this IP address, you guys will be able to access this. But if I give you this IP address, you will not be able to access this. Why? Because this is private IP in some different network. You will not be able to access this. But public IPs, they can talk to each other. Is it clear? These two statements, private IPs can talk to each other. Private IPs can talk to each other within that network, but not outside the network, even if they are in same range. Okay, here I'm just giving you example of same range. That does not mean if I get here class B range, these can also talk. That is a different thing. They cannot talk. Same range I'm talking about. But here, despite being in same range, they cannot talk to each other. UT-Kloud and Tsoft machines, printers, etc., they cannot talk to each other. They don't even know they exist. Here, if I, from this machine 10.0.0.0, if I try to talk to 10.0.0.1, it is definitely not going here. This one doesn't even know कि यहाँ पर कुछ ऐसा है. It will search for 10.0.0.1 somewhere here. And if sufficient level of access is there, this machine will be able to talk to this machine. Or this machine will be able to talk to this printer. This machine will be able to talk to this scanner or database, whatever it is. Is it clear, guys? Are you getting it? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes,
थोड़ा
Confusing.
थोड़ा
Yes.
confusing है Sohail. Understand
Yes, I
करना.
guess. Did you watch those videos?
नहीं वीडियो वॉच नहीं किए शायद वॉच
Yes.
करके
Yeah, you will get a
समझूंगी तो
clarity. Yeah.
समझ जाए हाँ
Yeah, definitely, I'm sure,
लेकिन अभी
because
थोड़ा
that guy has
कंफ्यूज
explained in very detail and a good manner. He has taken the example of students talking to each other in same class, or students talking to students in other class, or students talking to students in other school, other building. So how it works, he has done the good analogy. So please watch those videos once, and I'm sure you will understand that.
yeah
Okay. Now, next thing, can private IP talk to public IP directly? Can someone answer that? Can a private
N-
IP talk to a public IP directly?
no,
No.
So are you saying that when you guys took a remote of your machines on Azure, your Azure had a public IP, right? What do you think? Your machine, your laptop, it has public IP or private IP? Why don't you go ahead and check whatever machine you have now?
Has public.
It has
No.
public IP.
No, it has private IP. Sorry.
So go ahead and check. The command to check your IP address is ipconfig. That should be enough, and you will get the IP address, whichever is there on your machine. So is it private IP or is it public IP? Let's stick to this one. Okay. Is it private IP or public IP?
The private IP.
So now if I take a remote of this machine, do you think it will work or not? We have seen it many times, plenty of times we have seen it. Let's say if I turn on this machine. If I turn on this machine and use this IP and take RDP, will I be able to do it or not?
yes, you can.
How is it working then? What about the statement where I say private IP, then they do not talk to public IP directly?
So our laptop also have a public IP.
Your laptop has a public IP? Check.
Gateways, I think.
So the natting happens, and because of which IPs and public IPs
So whoever said
talk to
natting,
each other.
where did you read this natting?
Nat.
Was that in those videos? Natting?
No,
Okay, so
no.
let's
Natting
not
was
get
not there.
okay, let's not discuss that. Uh someone else, was there gateway? Was it there in those videos?
Yes.
Yes.
Gateway. So maybe we can stick to gateway because I have shared those videos, and whatever you are watching in those videos, we'll stick to that. Let's not get all the topics here because this is not network. We are not reading network engineering here. Okay, CCNA वगैरह यहाँ पर नहीं कर रहे हैं, so we are not getting into that. But I'll explain it to you very quickly. I hope you guys understand that. If not, maybe I'll share some video, and I already have some videos of my own, and if you want, you can watch the YouTube videos also. Let me quickly erase it completely and I'll explain it. So let's say that I have this network and I have this network. What is this network? This is internet. Let's say it's either Facebook, YouTube, Google, Citibank. All this, do you think these have public IP or private IP? These websites?
Public IPs.
Obviously public IPs, right? Because they are being used on internet. I am accessing this from my laptop, the laptop which I have at my house. This is my laptop or my mobile maybe. How am I able to talk then? So very simple thing. Here, how are we using internet? How are you using internet? Why do you have internet on your laptop or mobile? How do you have it? What device do you have at your house?
Routers.
Router.
Right. Because of router, you are able to use it. So very simple. What Uzef was talking about, it's NATing, it's network address translation. And guys, this is just for your knowledge. You don't have to understand this. Don't have to worry, but you should know all this. Okay, good to know, need to know. I hope you understand the difference. This is all good to know for you. NAT is network address translation. What does it do? The moment you type in your browser that I want to access google.com, okay, the moment you type in your browser here, you want to take access google.com. So it takes a request from here. It goes to your router. Your router will understand you're trying to access google.com. Your router will make a packet and replace your private IP with its public IP. And then now the request is going here. Now these are public to public. So FB Facebook.com knows that the request is coming from a public IP. Facebook.com will reply. In a reply, what will you get? Your page, your login page, your pictures, or whatever you have requested for. Similarly, you request for YouTube. It will go here, do the network NATing, network address translation. It will go to YouTube. YouTube will reply to this, and it will again come to your picture. It all happens at router level NATing. If I have more than 2 computers, then how will it make sure that it is going to same? It will happen at the router level. You don't have to worry about it. Network team takes care of that. That if this one has requested something, FB, the reply should go to this person only or this laptop only. यहाँ का वहाँ request नहीं जाना चाहिए. That happens at router level. But ultimately, the communication is happening between a public IP and a public IP. Is it clear, guys? Now?
Yes. That
And
means router has both public and private IP.
perfect. Yes, I was about to say that. Your router will definitely have a public IP. Without public IP, your router will not work. And router is a device which has 2 interfaces. Router will have a public IP and router will have a private IP also. And it works like a bridge, which lets you speak to outside world and let outside world speak to you. Got it?
Yes.
Let's say now I have another company here, and this company has all CPUs or PCs or printer, etc., but with private IP. Then how the communication will happen here? Who can tell me? Here I did not require any router at Facebook level. Why? Facebook directly has a public IP. So I do not require any router. YouTube already has a public IP. You simply type YouTube. You're typing here youtube.com, but at the back end, it is accessing IP address. If you want to see here, if I ping youtube.com, look at this. This is, what is it? Public IP or private IP, guys?
It's a public IP.
Public IP.
It's a public IP. So in my browser, when I type youtube.com, it is just for you and me. It's for human reader. It's in human readable language. We are typing youtube.com, but backend it is taking an IP address, and that happens at DNS level. We are not discussing that now. You don't have to worry about it, how it works, but ultimately it works on IP address. So my question here was, Facebook, YouTube, Google, City, famous websites, even if it is in famous website or not even famous website, it's okay, like UT-Kloud, but it, as far as it has a public IP, you will be able to connect directly. My question is, what about another company? If you want to connect to this PC from this laptop, let's say from this laptop, I want to connect to this laptop. This is my requirement. Then how will it work, guys? What is missing in this diagram? If this is what my requirement is, then what is missing? That's it. This is gone. Only two
Another
components.
company should have routers.
Exactly. Both companies should have routers. So this company will also have a router. Now the traffic will route something like this. It will go from here with my private IP. It will come to router. Router will make changes. It will go here to their router. Their router will make changes and send to the private. This will again reply. It will go to router. It happens. It comes here. It comes here. This one is requesting for the some other PC. It will come here. It will come here. From here, it will come here. Something like this. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes, guys. What about others? Yes, no, maybe some doubts, questions.
So understood.
What about others, guys? Ganesh, Aksa, Anisa, Ilyas, Mudassar,
Yes, sir.
are you getting it? Guys, sorry if I sound a
yes.
little bit rude or harsh. I've got this feedback many times. I'm working on that. But when I'm asking, I just need to know whether you guys have understood it or not. Feel free to say if you have not understood that. Maybe not immediately, but I will repeat the topic somewhere, or I will make sure that जितना भी इंटरव्यू के लिए जरूरत है उतना तो मैं रिपीट करके आप लोगों को समझा दूं. So anyone who did not understand this, not in depth, not talking about in depth, you are not going for network engineer role. Don't worry. Did you understand the approach?
Yes, all clear.
Okay, only 1 minute is left. We'll stop this session, guys. Third session will start on portal directly. I hope now this is clear with these two sessions and the videos which I have shared. Pretty much networking is covered. Whatever we required as an Azure administrator to do the deployment on portal. I'm not saying the networking topic it's done. It's a huge topic. We don't even have to worry about it. You will see network engineers, dedicated network engineers in your company, in your team. But when you go to Azure, you should know all this. Right, so I'm closing this and I'm stopping the session. See you guys at 15:30 using same link. Use the same link and we'll start with the portal then.
Sure.